So this is one of the questions on Leetcode, and here we have to find the longest substring without a repeating character. So what we have here as input is a string, suppose, which is ABC, ABC, W, and ABC. So here output should be ABC, W. So this would be our output, which is the longest substring without a repeating character. Now to get here, we will have to use something. Here what we can do is we can use sliding window approach to solve this problem with hashing or a dictionary kind of a data structure. Now let me help you understand how we'll solve this problem. We have to get this as the output. Now here I will have, so for to implement sliding window I need to have the start of the window as the start index of the window. Then I will have an a variable called current window. Then I will have longest, which will store the longest substring. Then I will have scene, which would actually be a dictionary. This is where we are going to use hashing. Now let's start with start. So let's initialize these variables first. Now start index is 0 by default. Current window is empty. Longest is also empty, and scene is also empty. Now as we start, I'll also note down the indices of these values for better understanding. Now start index is 0, so the window is this. So the current window would be um it would be ABC, ABC, WA. Okay, I have written the whole thing, and the current window is here. Longest is, since longest is empty, so it will get updated because the current window length is greater than longest, it's 1, so it will get updated and it will become A. And scene would be A, which is the key, and its value would be the indice, which is 0. Now moving on, start will remain the same, so this would be 0. Now this would become ABC, ABC, WABC, and my window would now be this. Longest again will get updated on the basis that the length of current window, which is 2, is greater than the length of longest, so it will get updated to AB, to the current window. So here I am also writing the logic that if length of longest is less than length of current window, then longest gets updated. Okay, now moving on. Now we have ABC, ABC, WABC. Here now the window is ABC. Again longest will get updated because of this, so this will become ABC. Start remains 0. Scene here was A, B is 1. Here scene would be A is 0, B is 1, C is 2. Now moving on to A. Now here is a trick. We are here. So this would become ABC, ABC, WABC. Now since A is already there in scene, so there is something that would happen now. Now the last index for this is this. For A is 0. So the start of the window would shift to here, and this would become this, like this. So start would shift to 1 plus the indice of A, which would be 1. Now this would become B, C, A. Longest, since longest wouldn't change. Reason that the current window is not, the length of current window is not, the length of longest is not less than the length of current window. It's both of these are 3. So it will remain the same, but this will get updated. This will become the length of the indice for A will become 3, B would remain the same, C would be 2. Now moving on, and start has now come to 1. Now we will have A B C A B C W A B C. Now we will have B C. Yeah. Now the next one is this B. Again, this will be, since B is already there in scene, so we will update the indice, which would become 4. This would become 2. A would become 3. But before that, the start would shift. Start would shift to the index of B plus 1, which is 2. So it will shift to 2, second index. And this would be like something like this. So my window would be, wait, I'll have to change this also. This became, so now my window would be CAB. And this, sorry, I did the same mistake. This won't change. This won't change. ABC won't change because the length of both of these will remain the same. Start index again is becomes plus 1 of this, which is 2. So this is my start index. Okay. Now moving on. Now I'll go to start index is this. Now I'll go to C. So this is C. Okay. So I am here. Now this will again get updated. A is 3, B is 4, and C would become 5. My window will also get updated. The start for this will get updated. It was 2, so this will become 3 now. Plus 1 of the repeating element. Plus 1 the indice of the repeating element. Here repeating element is C, indice is 2, so plus 1 of that is 3. 3 would become my start. This would be ABC, ABC, W, ABC. So my window now becomes this. But here also the length is 3, so longest wouldn't change. It will remain as ABC. Now moving on to W. Now W, my string would be this. So my window would become ABCW. This is my start. Now start index would remain the same. Current window's length, which is 4, is greater than longest length, which is 3. So this will also get updated, ABCW. Okay. It's not there in scene. W is not there in scene. So this will become so this would become like this. Now this is there in my scene. Okay. Okay. So longest is ABCW now. Now I'll move on to the next one. Now I'll move on to this. After W, I'll move on to A. So if as I move on to A, my string is ABC, W, ABC. Now as I move on to A, this will again shift, right? And it will shift, and start would become plus 1 of this, which is 4. So my start has shifted to 4. And the string will remain the same because again the length is 4, which is fine because longest and current window's length is same. So this will not get updated. This will remain the same. And this would be sorry, A would become A would now become A would now become 7. So this would not be 3 anymore. This would become 7. Now I will move on to B. Now B is also there in scene. So since B is there in scene, my start would be the indice of B, the indice of repeating element plus 1, which would be 5. So this would be ABC, ABC, W, ABC, and my window would be from here, which would be C, W, A, P. And this will not, again, longest will not get updated because the length of current window and longest is same. Scene will get updated for C. For C, scene would become scene would get updated for B because that was the repeating element, so it would become 8, and C is 5, W is 6. Now then we'll get to C. So this is A, B, C, A, B, C, W, A, B, C. Now C is also there in scene, so my start would shift to W. C is there in scene, so my start would be indice of C plus 1, which is 6. So my window start would shift to 6. This would be my window. Now again, longest is same as current window, so this would remain the same. Scene will get updated. A 7, B is 8, C is 9 according to the updated indice, and W remains 6. Now after that, when I go for the next iteration, there is no element to iterate on. So we have come to the end of the list, and this is how we end our algorithm. So so we are looping through this string, and when we come to the end, we end the algorithm. But at the end, we can see the longest has our answer, which is ABCW, and this is what I'm going to return. So this is how we have used sliding window. And why do we have seen? We have seen first, so there are two reasons that we have seen. So first, it's helping us decide on our start of the window when a repeating character occurs. Then the second utility for scene is that it tells whether an element has happened or not. So that is why longest stores are longest, the answer basically. Current window is the current sliding window, and start index is where the start of the index is. I hope you found this useful, and stay tuned if you like the video because I will be posting more such content, and I will also put the code for this algorithm in the description. Thanks for watching.